Sean P. Diddy Combs, congratulations to you, brother. P. Diddy. I thought I told you that we wouldn't stop. I thought I told you that we wouldn't stop. I thought I told you that we wouldn't stop. I thought I told you that we wouldn't stop. Yeah. Sean P. Diddy Combs, free man. Okay? Lcdaone TV, baby. Let's get it, man. In a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, baby. That's right. That's right, your boy Lcdaone, baby. Lcdaone. To be exact, you dig, is back, man, with the real deal. None older than like Holyfield, you dig. Bring y'all Lcdaone TV, baby, live. Live, Jack. I want all y'all to tune in, man, for this exclusive breaking news. This exclusive breaking news. Sean P. Diddy Combs will be reportedly released from federal prison today. Today. And we're going to have the exclusive news breaking press release, press conferences, all that stuff. And in a nutshell, on your boy being released. Child bail hearing for Sean Combs after split verdict. We're going to go right to some live actualities and stuff of these peoples talking about Sean Combs and the situation, because that's the damn situation. Okay? Of him about to be released from this federal prison after he was charged with these crimes, man. Okay? So, let me tell y'all something, man. Before we come live into y'all viewing enjoyment, y'all can see none other than Lcdaone, baby. Let's get something understood here. Okay? Let's get something real clear. This was not, and I repeat, this was not an accident. This was supposed to have happened. Okay? Now they saying judge has denied bail, so we're about to go live and listen to this account of what's going on. Because it seems like they're going to really try to stick this man with this indictment. Okay? That's what it seems like. That's what it appears to be the situation. So we're about to go right into it. Get y'all the breaking news right here on Lcdaone TV. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell button. Y'all get notified when your boy is about to drop these bangers for y'all, man. Okay? Real deal Holyfield. Alright? So, we're about to go right into it, man. Alright, we're going to go right into it. Hold on 1 second. We're about to go right into it in a few seconds. Let me get everything together for y'all, man. We more organized now than anything else. Okay, we more organized now than anything else. As I'm giving y'all this exclusive update. And I told y'all I was coming back. I told y'all I was coming back. I told all y'all that I was coming back. But a lot of y'all didn't want to hear the truth. Okay? Y'all didn't want to hear the truth. And the fact of the matter that this man P. Diddy could be freed from the federal penitentiary. Okay? he could be freed from the federal penitentiary today, 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 today. Okay? So, let's not make no mistake about it, man. Y'all gotta understand the situation. Here we go, man. Hey, what up, y'all? This your boy LC the One, baby. LC the One to be exact, you did, aka Illmatic 1, 2, folks. And not the motherfucking gang numbers, man. But my actual jersey number I wore when I was in high school. And my warm-up jersey right here on the back of my motherfucking chair. It was up to my LC Nation, my LC gang, and my LC crew. Hey, what's going on out there in the land with y'all living you did? But hey man, we back with another live. I mean, another exclusive live. Can y'all dig that with a basketball jack? Tough that tonight, baby. Shout out to Sean P. Diddy Combs. Shout out to all the other vloggers out there. Shout out to, I'm trying to get this thing clear. Coast notes to my cousin, coast notes to MJ. Shout out to Ball, Softball. He just got released. This is a good year. This has been a fruitful year for all of us, man, because people are being exonerated. People are being liberated. Okay? Justice is prevailing. Okay? And circumstances and situations. Okay? Let me step out real quick. I gotta make this clear, man. All of you feel like this. She eating her dinner. Zaire over there in the air conditioner chilling like a villain. Okay? And SJ, she outside somewhere doing her thing. So this give me this, what we call this, breath of relaxation. Fresh, that's what we call it. Breath of, oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, man, we finna go right into this actuality, man, of this situation. Let's make sure we got the right graphic pulled up. If not, hey, man, we live, okay? We do stuff in real time on this program, okay? Now, this is one of the other headlines, okay? I think we on video. There we go. This is the latest right here of what's going on, okay? They're saying, now awaiting Diddy bail hearing, they said his bail was denied. This is Fox 5 New York. So let's listen in to what they got to say. Because they were saying he got denied bail. So let's listen to what they're saying.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's getting it. Let's use this one. Let's get Jeremy here. Yeah, Jeremy, can you come back in here when you get a moment? So what we had been positioned for was an argument that because the jury found Sean Diddy Combs guilty only on the lesser of the charges, that there was a presumption that he might be able to go home. The judge even asked him at one point, I imagine you don't want to go back to see, he nodded vigorously. Right? Let's use this microphone. I'm not sure if that only works. And Jeremy, if you'll come in here. Jeremy, should we start with Jeremy's reaction? Jeremy Sandlin is with us. He's a criminal defense attorney and former Manhattan prosecutor. And bail, the news is that bail has been denied. Yeah, the judge. So there is the law, the statute says in substance that would be denied, meaning that he goes in and stays in. There's not an exception. For example, there could be an exception where the prosecution says we consent, and there's other pieces to it as well. There could be a danger to somebody or not, but the bail being kept as it is not necessarily atypical because of the law, though one would believe the fact that he was not convicted of top charge, and it's been a reduction, and people do walk free and come back and are. Well, keeping the bail as it is means there's no bail. Right. So he's remanded, he's held without bail. So this doesn't change the potential sentence, obviously, because it's still up to 10 years, but for the immediate gratification purposes of getting out, doing what he needs to do, and fighting this from the outside in terms of preparing for that sentencing, now it's been stripped. And let me just add, this morning, the prosecution was very adamant about wanting to have this extra.
Wow. So that's what I'm saying. They really out to get him. That's the state of New York right there. Just really out to get this brother, man. They don't want him seeing no type of light of day. Because they're really trying to make an example out of this situation for others that they may possibly end up trying, because it was alleged that other people were involved. So hold on, this is not old. This is not old by one bit. Hold on, I gotta turn this chicken. Okay, now look. Now this is different from the OJ situation because OJ, he wasn't in custody. Okay, he wasn't in custody. Now I'm pretty sure Diddy don't want to come out there looking all old and shit.
To present their argument to the judge, and seemed obviously they were disappointed with the verdict. It was very visible and very obvious, but they wanted to keep him behind bars, and they said, "Your Honor, we need several hours to really get this whole argument together for you," and that's pretty stunning.
But again, you have to go back to what the law is and what it allows for. And generally speaking, barring some exception, the Bail Reform Act says you're staying, you're not just getting released. He was convicted of a crime. I think people, rightfully so, are disappointed and have questions from a public's perspective when you have such a horrific allegation that is not proven or substantiated beyond a reasonable doubt. And summarily, we're not talking about on the cusp. That's a pretty quick verdict that I think fooled many people thinking that there might have been a sex trafficking conviction. He's walking scot-free in terms of any allegation of coercion, force, fraud, violence. He's still in custody.
Okay, so Jeremy, what about? Can we just ask Jeremy? Was it a difficult decision for the judge?
I think the judge is I think the judge is not finding any exception in following the law, and that's why he's staying there. Hoping the prosecution, though they didn't, the defense, though they didn't raise it specifically in the letter to the court, was that yes, there may be the Bail Reform Act, and that was what the prosecution put their fight on. Since statutorily, you can't just let him walk. The prosecution was hoping, the defense was hoping that the judge would look past that and say, he's returned, he just shows that he can follow a court order, he's not.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Judge denied bail for Sean Diddy Cohn. Wow. That's all I got to say, man. This is something. I mean, cause his team is trying, to at least let him get some type of freedom before, if it is going to be a real lengthy sentence. But, how long is he going to have to stay in there is the question. Okay? That's the most important question. Like, how long will he have to stay in there, being that he was already found innocent on these other charges. I'm talking about how long will you have to wait before they go back to court? Okay, that's the thing. So I mean, this right here just keeps everything just going a little bit longer than what it should go. Okay, I'm just showing my people on Facebook that I'm live, and so you can just come over here and tune in. But they can see it right here. Breaking news: Judge denies bail for Sean Diddy Combs in this case. Okay, and what Judge Joe Brown was saying on him and the Real Dana show, he was saying that they need to branch the other charges because those are no longer exempt. Okay, the sex trafficking, the RICO, and then there was another one. Okay, those 3 charges have been exonerated, so let's put those to bed. Now you just place with these other 2 charges, and Judge Joe Brown was saying that due to the fact that he already in some time, that he gonna see it kind of hard for the judge to really stick him with the 10-year max. Okay, and then I'm thinking he's gonna get probation out of the situation. Okay, Judge Joe Brown said he probably do a couple more months, but it won't be in jail. It'll be a probation. It'll be probation. Okay, and then him having bail. Because I don't know if that would have played a big part because they know they don't want him really speaking out, I guess, because it's a still ongoing situation. Okay, they don't want him speaking to media because they're gonna be all in his face because the case is not over. Same thing like with R. Kelly when he was out. You see what he was doing. He went on jail show. And he was speaking out on that, and that can kind of incriminate him. You know, okay, they trying to give him a gag order, basically. Basically, the judge, it's like it's a good judge, you know, that's looking out on his behalf. How I'm taking it. Because for the long run of it, it seems like he gonna get, no, he gonna be exonerated completely. He just gotta sit and wait a little bit longer, you know, for everything, the process to take its place. And then that's it, okay? Because you want to make sure um, you don't have no type of defamation of your character while you on a bail, okay? Because that's what happened to That's what happened to R. Kelly. And I think that played a big part in his sentences when it came down to it. Because he was out on bail and he got the blabbing at the mouth. He went off and and got stuck with that lengthy sentence. So not to say that Combs gonna do this and they kind of fearing that he gonna flee the country and all this and that type of stuff. He pretty much cooperated throughout the whole process and he turned himself in. They got to keep that in mind. He turned himself in. He flew back once he got the word that they was gonna indict him and stuff and et cetera, et cetera. He been cooperating the whole time when he went to his crib. What was it, in Miami or somewhere? He cooperated. He let them people come in and do what they had to do, and he didn't make no fuss about nothing. Okay, every time they tried to, is what you should is what you should do in the first place anyway. Same thing I did when I went through my three little situations and stuff. I cooperated. I didn't put up no fight. I didn't say anything. I just let the process. I let the process take course, and that's all. That's all I could have done because when you're dealing with the law, you got to understand this, okay? And the court of law is their word against yours. Anything you can say can be held against you, okay? So you got to keep that in mind. Y'all have to keep that in mind. Anything you say can be held against you in the court of law. And this is public opinion, too, at the same time. That could be held against you, too, as y'all have seen what has happened with the videos and stuff like that. That played a big part in this case right here. Because if they didn't have the video footage, okay, of this situation, we wouldn't be sitting here. And then even if she would have filed a lawsuit, they didn't have no proof. That was the only proof that they had, and he was in the public, so he kind of messed up with that. So he learned a lesson about that, and all the other stuff. He probably was able to get footage of that stuff before it got to that point. Okay, Cassie's situation was it was a really interesting situation on how footage was obtained. Okay, even after the fact, this is very interesting. Y'all got to pay attention to what's going on out here. And this was in New York, right? I think it was. But this happened with her. So y'all gotta pay attention real critical. Y'all gotta really pay attention critically to what's going on, man. For real, because they was out to get him, man. He probably thought everything was already off. No, he probably got everything based off his secret society and stuff and the clothes they got. And, no. Hold on. He thought wrong. See, you got to be careful. This just like a movie. To me, that's how I'm pretty much looking at this. Just like a movie and how it played out. Okay. Let's go back to the forward cam real quick. We can get more of this disclaimer in before we really get into this. This is going to be going on for about the next couple of hours. And this playing out like a movie. Because that's what this gonna be. It's gonna be a nice little movie when it's all said and done. His story is gonna be very compelling. Because we're gonna get a chance to see everything in the movie. Because he the one that's gonna tell the story. Okay? And he telling the truth and nothing but the truth. So help him God. Okay? this is playing out exactly the way it's supposed to play out. Okay? And the judge is going to be a big, big, interesting piece to this rebirth of his resurgence of his business and his career. Okay? Because the judge is the one now. Now that the jury has deliberated, y'all got to keep in mind, the jury is done now. They don't have no more say. Now it's going back to the court because 2 of these charges stuck. And they're the only charges that stuck. So now it's going to be adjudicated by the judge. And the judge is the only one that can show leniency in this situation due to the fact he's no felon. He cooperated. He served time already. That's what Judge Joe Brown was saying already earlier on the Real Dana show. Y'all need to go check that out. He cooperated, okay, with authorities. He didn't run. None of that stuff. He did the right thing. Came, turned himself in, did the right thing. Let's move forward. Okay? Now that the prosecution is trying their best to really get this to stick because, like I said, they have to get him for real. Okay? Catchy been paid off. Jane Doe speculated is 50 Cent's baby mama. She's still being taken care of by Diddy. You gotta understand, this is a secret society that they was dealing with. And like I told y'all yesterday, this man wasn't gonna go to jail. He a billionaire. You gotta understand that. He's a billionaire. They saying 600 million selling. No. He is a billionaire. Okay? He hang around billionaires. Kanye was a billionaire walking up in there. Even though they say he didn't get a chance to get in the chambers and stuff, he only was there for like 10, 15 minutes. No. But he couldn't be in the public like that. He a billionaire. Kanye has been taken out of the public because he a billionaire. Okay? It's getting to the point it's kind of hard to get around these type of people because of their status quo. Okay? And they got their own. This is an elite group. Y'all gotta understand that. This is the wealthiest 1% that we talking about. They the ones that own the courthouses and all this and that type of stuff. Even though whatever and all this, man. The jail, prisons and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They own institutions and stuff. Like Michael Jordan owned a prison. You understand? Y'all gotta understand the playing field. Okay? And what the playing field of what this situation is. Okay? Y'all gotta understand that. And this is the way it's gonna be, man. Okay? They're gonna move smarter. They're gonna keep it going. Okay? Like y'all see in the little caption, the little thumbnail. I thought I told you that we won't stop. They're gonna keep on doing what they do. They're gonna be smart about it. He the host of the events. And it's gonna keep on going. It's gonna be real exclusive and even more privater than what you think now. It's not gonna be public. This public can't deal with it. As you can see, you can't let everybody into your function, into your party. Everybody can't have an invitation to these type of parties. Okay, they can't handle it. And I don't want to slander or defamate Cassie as Anton Daniels, who I was trying to tell you about earlier. He was going off earlier on his show about it. He was effing on everything, saying Diddy and it's explicit and all that, right? And she knew what she signed up for, man. She was joining an exclusive club. She with the highest, the king of kings. Okay? When it comes to she with the king of hip hop. And I just got through looking at a little excerpt of Diddy on TikTok. I'm gonna see if I can play that for y'all real quick. He had a sit down with Charlamagne the God. And he was talking about exactly the situation just before I guess he got locked up and how he battling these people like the Cirocs and all this man, what he's been dealing with for a long time. Okay, battling these heads. Okay, and I know I saved it. I know I saved it. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I got this one clip. This one dude said he went to the moon and stuff, and I don't know how true that is. But I'm gonna find that clip real quick for y'all, man, and let y'all listen to it, and y'all give me y'all take on what y'all think. That's why I told y'all I get information. Y'all probably never seen this clip before ever. Like I told y'all, I think I'm a media outlet. I'm like a T channel. Okay, I'm out there in the public. I just saved it too. I just saved it because I knew it was gonna be meaningful for this moment right now. Hold on, I gotta type it in. I just seen it. I just saved it and everything. But like I said, man, this is very, very interesting. This whole deal. Hold on. I think I got the clip for y'all. I want y'all to listen to this, man. Yeah, here you go right here. Yeah, to sit down. September 29th, 2024. Hold on. I want y'all to listen to this real quick. And this is why he called it. He called it on this video. He said the real reason why they wanted Diddy locked up. Let me hold on. Y'all getting this exclusive from Lcdaone TV, baby. With my broke iPhone. Listen to this. Hold on. Hold on. Let's take it back. Y'all ready? Look. Now hold on. Let's halt there. Hold up. Now I've been talking about systemic racism for a long time because my friend Chanel hit me to it when she was on her show at Chicago State. I was filming it with this camera right here. This was my first camera I used because everybody used to come get me because I had a camera. And the kids had to rent their stuff out and stuff like that. I bought a camera. Chanel Oliver, she got a YouTube channel. She doing the Amina story right now with the slaves and how we was captive. Well, they was in captivity before they came to America in 1619. Okay, in Ghana. She went to the slave dungeons and stuff out there. Right? She in Ghana right now, but she back and forth. She on a network, an African network. My friend, her name is Chanel Oliver. She was working at MSNBC with Tamron Hall in New York. She told me about that story too when she got out there, how hard it was in New York, how she was starving, her and her baby and stuff, little Naomi. They were starving and stuff, and it was a restaurant, a guy that owned a bodega, that's what they call it restaurants. He fed them for a whole year. She was unemployed trying to find a job. Okay, and she was a media student from Chicago. And she ended up, and she graduated and everything. And I was right there. I filmed her first documentary when her husband or boyfriend with her baby daddy was locked up in Milan, Michigan. We went up there 4 or 5 times. She went up and I had to wait in the car while she was in there visiting him. He's from Nigeria. The story was for that. When he got out, he was going to get deported back to Africa because he was selling heroin. And he got caught. Okay? Now, Chanel ended up getting a job at MSNBC, worked broke off. She went through the same out there in New York, went through the whole little situation. My lady SJ, she was out there in New York. Her brother's got a storefront out there right now, still to this day. They in New York. Her brother got a business degree and everything. And the lifestyle in New York is a secret society, so you got to be a part of that clique. My lady was a singer. She was a real good singer. She was in the studio with Beyonce's cousin. He a producer named Bipolar. They started passing her demos out. She could sing real good. She still She messed up from that situation out there. There was a lot of stuff going on, secret society out there. Like I said, what's her name? Cassie. She was a part of that group, an exclusive club, where you made it to that tier level. My lady was telling me a whole lot of stuff. My other friend, Christy K, she came back from down south and she was stripping up the King of Diamonds stuff and Drake and them were coming in. She told me that story about that. You know, it's a secret. I get privy to information I be trying to tell y'all, but y'all don't be listening. And I keep my mouth shut because I'm supposed to remain silent because I'm getting information. But fast forward, Chanel, she still work at Swag TV, 24.5 locally or something like that. She still be on air. But she in Africa. And she doing a real story. Y'all need to go check her out on YouTube. Chanel Oliver. She doing something real big, man. And I was riding around with her. That's my homie. I still talk to her and everything. Okay? Everybody doing their thing right now. My friend Derek Dow doing his thing. Everybody doing their thing, man. But she hit me to systemic race. I still got the interview that she did with Remus Baker. Remus and Baker, they was running for the sheriff department with Tom Dar. He's still the sheriff, ain't he? Yep. That was like '05. We did that was almost 20 years ago. We did that interview at Chicago State with Herb Kid and all that, right? But she hit me on systemic racism, and that's what we still dealing with right now. That's what this man is going through right now. Systemic racism. Systematic racism. Look it up. Listen to the rest of what he's saying. Y'all heard that? Now, I could relate to that. That's why I said I would never shame P. Diddy. He the big homie. He looked out for us, man. I went through it. I'm talking about 3 times I got tried. I got me a lawyer. I defended myself. Like what you were saying, we need to defend ourselves. I stood up for this neighborhood, for these brothers over here. Okay? They say go get a Judge Joe Brown. Somebody was saying in this situation, sometimes it ain't best to go get a lawyer. They went through the schools and all this and that. People that they prosecuted, they went through everything. They been through all these different cases and stuff. It's good to get a public defender because they haven't been through all that. They fresh. Their mind is fresh, so they're not dealing with the systemic part of it. Because once you get caught up in it, you try to make a career, so you have to. That's why they pressing right now. Y'all see what they doing? They pressing hard to get this man and make him do time. Okay? Because now the life situation has been taken out of the equation. He's not going to do life. That's over with. But they're like, no, we're going to have to make an example. We're going to have to do some time. And he high profile. Hold on, let me get some Kool-Aid. This real nigga shit right here, boy. Kool-Aid. It's like a pepper ball. But they trying to stick it to them. They try to do me the same way. And that's New York. Trying to get a case. They still trying to pin a case on them. Same thing they trying to do me still here right now. They trying to get me on all type of different type of charges. Molestation, what else? Embezzlement, all type of stuff. They still trying to get me, man. And I ain't did nothing. But try to entertain. I got flaws. I made mistakes too, but you gotta understand when they try to get you, they try to stick something to you because when you win, they lose, they look bad. And whoever trying to stick it to you, they don't that makes them look terrible. Because they fighting and they've been trying and it's like they can't win. Okay? But I want y'all to understand that this disclaimer before we continue forward and what he's dealing with. Okay? It can go both ways, like the judge probably looking out for him on his best interest. Or he's dealing with systemic racism. Like he said, they don't want him outside because he's a big shaker. And Anton Daniels was telling the truth on his channel. He was like, man, look, when Diddy told him he wanted to be an owner of his shit, like Ciroc, it's just like Michael Jordan told Nike, I want to own my brand. I want to own my shit. Mike gonna go through some shit. Same thing Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC. They don't want brothers like us in power like that. Owning some real shit like that. See what Tyler Perry going through now? Black owned its own shit. You see what he going through? So my suggestion to these brothers is, especially after Diddy get off of this situation, it's time to go to the crib. Okay? Ludacris is trying to atone us and let us know. Akon was letting them know on the Drink Champs. He was like, man, they will embrace us if we come home, man. We got to collectivize and get our mind right. My homeboy, Tony Tenero, African from Nigeria, my homie I used to work with in security. Before he left, he was like a doctor now. He was like, man, we need to start buying plots. In Africa, they got a whole bunch of, we could buy a whole block. Go out there and build. Fuck this place. Okay? They don't want us to know our heritage any fucking way. We need to get back. We need to establish our relationship from where we came from. Everybody else, there ain't nothing wrong with that. We need to invest our money where it needs to be for real, like in Africa. Help rebuild it and making it powerful like how they made America powerful. All them Europeans made this powerful. This they shit. It's not against the law for us to go to our shit. Like the Mexicans, they go to their shit. Everybody go to their. We need to go. It's not a crime for us to go to our shit. We can stop crying wolf over here. We got our own shit. Right? I'm getting real with y'all now because y'all starting to real. I'm competing with. I'm not gonna be no fake narrative with all that bullshit like all these coons and stuff y'all see. I'm the real deal like Holyfield. And this is one of the big homies that they just tried to stick, man. They just tried to stick one of the big homies with some bullshit to fuck it up for him, right? Because he turned his cheek. He wanted to own his own shit. Okay? He like, fuck using my likeness and all this and that, man. I want to own my own shit. Like, come on. His influence did a lot. You know what I'm saying? And they said the same thing they doing with Rick Ross. Same thing. Turn his cheek. They act his ass. That's my group. He the big homie. That's our mentor. Right? He 55. As Deion Sanders, my homie Richard Payne, I'm watching him. He the big homie. Financial literacy. They don't want us to know none of this shit. He was telling me that. No, they want us to be at a low vibration. Okay? Still falling up behind them and calling them yes sir and all this and that type of shit. You know? Them days are over with. So we need to collectivize, get our mind right. Okay? and let's get this motherfucking money and do the right thing with it. Okay, now let's get back to this, man. Let's listen to what they were saying. Okay, it's some straight bullshit, but that's what it is. Straight bullshit. Let's get back to it. Make sure y'all subscribe, turn on the post notification bell button, baby. LC1 TV here.
Not going to flee, and he's not a danger to anyone specifically or the community at large.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this: in terms of the appealing this decision, what's the process now that the defense will have to go through in order to appeal the judge's decision of no bail?
I would expect that he's not going anytime soon. The judge, I heard what the judge said, so it's hard for you to just speak on an island here. But based on the law, as we know it, I think the judge has ample ground to stand on. And
let me answer that. Our Sharon Crowley has been watching this and telling us right now the judge says that the government was correct that the detention is mandatory for a Mann Act conviction. What you're indicating, and the judge said that the limited exception to mandatory detention was not met. Sean Combs pointed to his duties as a father and a son, which we talked about, but that does not rise to the level of an appropriate exception, according to the judge.
Right, and to my point moments ago, but I like to think that from the outside looking in, someone has been charged with such a egregious and horrible act, and a jury of your peers says no so quickly, there should be a means to say you should be free, but there still is a conviction. The Mann Act qualifies. He's in custody. Whether that's a sign of the judge saying I'm going to harshly sentence him or not, we can't say, but let's not read into it. The judge is simply following the law, and does not warrant that 10 years that you're hearing about for each of the counts for Jane
and Jeremy, remind us again about the Mann Act.
So the Mann Act does not involve coercion or force or anything like that. The Mann Act simply says that you're bringing someone across state lines and substance, engaging in prostitution, that violates the law. I look at this case, not to really go too far off, this really, especially when you hear this verdict, should likely never have been in that courthouse. If anything, it should have been in that courthouse, meaning 100 Center Street or something similar, in a state courthouse for domestic violence, for abuse, for things like physical abuse and assaultive behavior, those types of things. But now we're here, it is what it is, but I think the prosecution really got humbled whether or not the judge is keeping Sean Combs in.
No, 100%. So now tonight he'll be spending the night in NBC.
It's hotter in there than it is out here, certainly for him. But there is now a horizon. That sun is rising for him. There is an out, and I'd like to think, based on the evidence and based on the finding of that jury, that out will be reasonable. And the defense said maybe 20 to 24 months. The prosecution is saying at least 50 to 60 months, even more. Where the judge falls, I don't know. But there's freedom for a guy who's looking at life in prison, which is unbelievable, whether he's in the jail tonight or not.
And you told us that there's no minimum with the conviction, the prostitution conviction.
Correct, but there are guidelines, and the judges generally follow those guidelines. There's ability to move along them and go up or down. But I think we have to look at what the evidence is and remember that the prosecution can still bring out the sentencing. It could not do that in the state court. There's other allegations and the evidence there that was not supported by the jurors who said not guilty because it's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt of sentencing. It's not the same standard. Right. Do I think he's going to get 10 years? We've been long before? No, I do not. There is an out for him.
And we'll continue watching this closely, and so that's it.
Yeah, just to sum up, this has been a day of news on the Sean Diddy Combs case. First, the jury came back and rendered a not guilty verdict on the heavier charges of the indictment, and then there was this talk about whether or not he would be walking out of here. There were a lot of reasons why some people thought that might actually be the case, but at this point we've just learned that the judge has denied the application for bail, which means instead of walking out a free man today, Sean Combs will have to wait. And the judge noted, we're told right now by Sharon Crowley, that one of the incidents of violence against the former girlfriend was in June of 2024 after Sean Combs knew that he perhaps was illegal. Right. So there are things in the bag, so to speak, that the judge is taking into consideration that as people out on the street, maybe slower to get to, but the judge has made his decision. Sean Combs will not be seen on camera outside the courthouse today.
Yeah, and I kind of think like the judge really didn't want him looking bad, like that. Okay, never know what his mindset is right now, too. Being that he just went through like a whole year of this stuff, and he probably not in his real mindset to even talk to the public right now. because the case is not over with. And number two, he not looking good for camera. Want the man coming out looking all weeble and fucked up and shit, and looking old and all this stuff. That ain't the Diddy we know. That's what I'm saying. This is all about publicity, okay, for these corporations, okay, the mediums and stuff like that, and they will use anything to paint a narrative, okay, to the public. And like, look what we did. We whooped this nigga ass for a whole year and a half. Look how we got it. See, fucked your image up and all this and that. So the judge probably looking out on his behalf. Okay, let the man get himself together. Okay, after he go to the hearing and stuff like that, and then the judge give him probation, which I think is gonna happen. Because I don't think they're gonna give him no max sentence for none of this stuff. But it's still kind of consensual stuff that was going on. Okay, it's just like if you hire some strippers or something, shit, and you fly them. I can't even speak on that. Like I said, my friend, she a real stripper, worked at the King of Diamonds and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they got invitations to come places and all this and that type of stuff. But you know, even the escorts, that's legitimate and stuff like that. So I mean, but they saying this is prostitution, but those were hired escorts. Okay, that's what escorts do. Okay, you can look them up in the yellow page. What you think that movie was about when what's her name? Jennifer Lopez made that movie. Escorts or whatever it was, that's real deal. That's legal. Okay? But they try to turn it into some crime, saying that you can't travel and do stuff. Like, America full of shit. That's why they do need to reform the justice system. I can't say that. Especially for a situation like this. Because they threw out everything else. All the big charge they threw out because they really didn't have no proof. Because everybody was consensual. So they got to stick them on something. So the judge see where the prosecutor going to state they just really trying to get a win at this because you know who he defeated today was that prosecutor that won the other cases. That's what happened. She got defeated today. It was an all women prosecution team. So they really, this is like the women's movement, not to slander that. And, you know, Cassie just, I want to speak on her situation and stuff like that really too much either, slandering her, defaming her character and stuff. But, like I said, they all grown adults. That's what Judge Brown pointed out. They all grown adults, man. If it was such a bad thing, if they weren't making money, which they probably not now, they would have never came out and said anything. Because it would have kept on going. Even without him being a part of it, because he wasn't a part of it no more. Apparently, or he got too big where his others running the shit, and he not a part of it like that. It's just like the Game Society. Larry Hoover started the shit, but he not running it no more. So, that's what it is, and they got proof of her operating without him being around doing shit. Because she making money. This is her lifestyle now. This is her way of living. She wasn't no artist no more. When was the last time you see her do some music? She did a couple of movies. Real quiet about her lifestyle and stuff. But when she started getting the calls to do shit, this motherfucker started getting hungry. Okay? You're not making the same type of money. You got these bills. Them bills coming in. You live in this upscale lifestyle. Them bills ain't gonna stop coming. You know what I'm saying? And that's what she was dealing with. She had to pay all these motherfucking bills, and she got to figure her way out. She was this broke ass white boy. He ain't got no fucking money. He got locked up behind this shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got Diddy type money, evidently, or she wouldn't even did this shit. She would have cared less. I'm just keeping it real with y'all, keeping it a buck with y'all. She wouldn't have cared less. She's like, damn, I know how women think a little bit too. They savage than a motherfucker. Okay? Especially when it comes to paying bills. Women don't like to pay no damn bills. They collect money and spend money. That's all they do. I'm keeping it real with y'all. I hate to say it, but it's the fucking truth. They spend money like a motherfucker. Your money. Okay? And when shit hit the fan, and let me be brutally honest about this situation, man. They all are bipolar. They got to touch it. They get angry real quick. It's in the nature to be a bitch. You got to understand that. When you live with a female, dealing with them, they get mad or pissed off or something. They different. They makeup is different from us guys. A lot of guys are some bitch ass motherfuckers too, but that's what I'm saying. This is their nature. This is their makeup. Okay, they get upset about everything. Wake up moody, angry. I've been living with females for a long damn time. Every one of them is different, but they kind of all the same. And I got that from my mentor, Darius Ross, a black man that owns his own business. He's a millionaire, construction business. I was in high school. He groomed me and everything. He had 3 different wives, white, black, whatever. When we was getting out his mama house and stuff, and took me down into the Mercantile Exchange. We was over the trading floor of the stock room where they was trading. Okay? And he was telling me, he took me to lunch. He was like, because I was just support labor for his business. I was in high school, about to go to college. And he was like, this is where you want to be at. The way how they eat, the millionaires, they sign for their stuff. It wasn't back then. Credit would have been, debit would have been something now, prevalent now. To this time, based off that time, they had to sign for their shit. They didn't use no money. You know, that's where they kept paper trail. Okay, but he told me this is where you want to be at. But he was telling me a lot about women and stuff. He was like, they all the same. Because he had both on all sides, white, black, and I don't know if he had another different type of woman. But he was like, they all, and he had kids by each one of them, married to him. He said they all the same, man. And it's just the truth. They are. They are, technically. Because these are women, you know? And that's it. My father was learning some stuff back then, too. He said women, they just scorn fast, and, you know, they hurt easily. They get hurt real easy. And they never forget shit. As you can see, she didn't want to let the shit go. And plus, she felt like fucked up career. Introduced her to other stuff, but she consented to it. That's the point. She consented to it. She could have said, fuck that, I'm out. Just like a lot of other artists that was with him, dipped out. When they found out what type of lifestyle he was into, and so he upscaled and stuff. And if you want to hang with the big dogs, shit, you gonna join the function or not? Or we gonna keep on doing our thing? She spoiled the party. If she would never say, I'm keeping it in the book. If she would never said shit, kept her fucking mouth closed, you're in a secret society. Be careful what y'all sign up for. Okay? And don't be crying after the fact. You signed up for this shit. You knew what you was getting involved in. So you keep your damn mouth shut. Just like you get in the game. There's certain shit you're supposed to do. If they got calls and shit, you gotta earn it. You can't go telling this shit and all this and that, and filing lawsuits and shit because you broke and shit. Like, find no matter way to get some fucking, you already in the game. I would have went into porno, all type of shit. Because she already doing the shit. And she would have rolled above all that shit that they were doing. Secret society. And she was making, 10 times the money. Because she was already an actress. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers nowadays with social media, she could get OnlyFans, all type of shit to get money. What you gonna file a lawsuit for and fuck up and make this situation? Don't make no fucking sense. Now you done fucked your career up even more. So now they know what the fuck you did, but now what you gonna do from this? One thing you can't do is probably going to the rocket car. Diddy, he's still a mogul. He can do whatever the fuck, he got money. You gotta understand that. You still trying to get money. You just got some money from him. But it is what it is with that. But let's keep on, man. Let's go back to this shit, man, and see what else they got to say. I'm gonna see if there's anything else breaking news. Okay, this is what they were talking about earlier, but this was all before. This is all past, and that's why I waited for the time to come. They said 5 o'clock, so I'm gonna see what else is breaking, see what TMZ got to say about this shit. Okay, let me find something real quick while we watching this.
not as someone free man on bail. That's the latest from here at the Lower Manhattan. Back to you guys.
Y'all people, I'm gonna take myself off cam. Y'all, okay, that's him. That's him. Judging that. Okay, y'all know. Let's play this real quick. It's CNN right here.
We are back with our breaking news. The judge in the Sean Diddy Combs trial has
I'll be back in a second. Hold on. Y'all just
rather
keep.
shockingly denied him bail. This, of course, coming after the news that the jury convicted him of 2 of the lesser charges in the government's case against him, finding him not guilty of the 3 biggest and most consequential charges. Do we have Elizabeth Wagmeister yet? Okay, so let's get straight to CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister, who's outside the court, along with Laura Coates. Laura, this is a surprising development. What are we learning? What are the judges' reasons for not letting him out?
Listen up.
We are still learning all the reasons why the judge has denied bail to Sean Diddy Combs pending his sentencing. That can be an indication of a number of things. Remember, the prosecution is intending to ask for jail time in this matter. Each of those charges could provide 10 years in prison. The sentencing guidelines will obviously dictate to what extent that will be followed. Those are the maximum. It is the ceiling, not the floor. But given the number of offenses he has failed to have in the past and the corresponding reason to judge someone's category that they're in for the ultimate sentencing, it could be far less than that. I will say, of course, that the judge, by making this statement, essentially is giving a bit of a heads up that perhaps jail time is in fact what he will actually hand down to Sean Diddy Combs when the sentencing does in fact occur. I will also say this indicates that the judge believed there were no conditions of release that could have been met that would have satisfied the court in terms of whatever pending threat there may have been to society or the witnesses or victims in this case.
Hold on, y'all. I'm just changing the quality.
As alleged, and that the conditions of release, including a passport being removed, no access to a flight, living in places other than where all these things could have been a part of it. Give additional information as well in terms of why.
Wow. So the judge gonna head down to it's not over with. So it's like, man, that's the thing. So it's gonna keep everybody gainfully employed. So how long this process gonna take? Okay, set a date for the sentencing and stuff, and he's still gonna be behind bars. That's the thing. That's the question that we all wait for now. How long will he remain behind bars? Well, how long will it take for them to really adjudicate the situation? That's the thing we waiting on now. Well, somebody got to make a statement on that.
We are waiting from our team inside the courtroom. But when you said that part of the reason why it could be that the judge perhaps believes that Combs could be a threat to society or other witnesses, it reminded me of a letter that Cassie Ventura's attorney submitted just hours ago opposing him being released on bail. Jake, I want to read you a quote from his letter. It says, quote, Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community. Now, before this trial began, Laura, we remember that there were 3 attempts at bail from Combs' defense.
And they act like he a mob boss. Yeah, he could pose a threat to them and stuff. Like, why? Why would she think that? Why would she think she just got paid $20 million? Why would she even think that? That's damn. She must. That's what I'm saying. She knows something that she in a secret society, and she knows some stuff that we don't know.
Which were denied by 3 different judges. One of them being the judge who is overseeing this case. Now, one of the reasons why the prosecution had alleged that he was tampering with witnesses, that he was trying to manipulate witnesses from behind bars. The prosecution had said at one point that Sean Combs was paying inmates at the MDC to use their phones in jail. So that was one the reasons why the judge denied bail before the trial, as he was awaiting this trial. But again, we don't know the evidence yet.
A perfect segue here, Jake, as well, because we're learning that the judge says this on the bench, essentially that he had denied bail.
Okay, I don't know if they're alluding to when he was talking to Kanye West on that call and how they said inmates was letting him use their phones. Y'all hear this? Inmates was letting him use their phone.
When it wasn't mandatory before the trial, and quote, sees no reason to reach the opposite conclusion now. He's also quoting the defense at different instances when Combs' own lawyers acknowledged his violence towards his former girlfriends during the trial, saying at trial the defense conceded defendants' violence in personal relationships, saying it happened in relation to Cassie Ventura and Jane. This is very important because remember, one of the things that was said in the opening statement by Tenny Garagos is that they own the violence. They admitted to what was seen in that now infamous exclusive video obtained by CNN for the Intercontinental Hotel, where there was a savage assault against Cassie Ventura. And of course, the defense and the prosecution during the trial said, well, domestic violence is not a defense of sex trafficking. Well, he wasn't convicted on that. But you can better believe that the notice from Cassie's attorney and others probably weighed very heavily on this judge's mind.
And Elizabeth, you spoke with Cassie's attorney. We're going to bring some of that interview later in the show.
Oh, wow. Okay. I want to hear what he got to say. Or they got to say, or whoever her attorney is. I got to change the title now. Because I heard it is Diddy being freed from jail. I got to change the title now. The stream title. So people won't get Mr. Scrooty, man. Wow. This is something. Okay, I had breaking news. Diddy found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking. Bond not set. That's why I'm put bond. Bond. Hold on. Bond not set and still in custody. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get this right for y'all, man. 'Cause this is something. This is really interesting to me. It really is. This whole situation is really interesting. Wow, that's all I gotta say, man. It's like I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful out here, man. Cause it's like they making it. This society is kind of getting real bad. Our society getting really bad, man. We in America, our culture. Everybody out to get everybody over some bullshit, man. Straight up. Everybody is. I'm gonna change the thumbnail too. This shit is crazy, man. Chicago. I mean, well, I don't even want to speak about it because I done went through my ordeals. It made me humble myself when this stuff hit the fan for me. It made me humble myself. It made me really humble myself and just be quiet. Okay, because you never know who's watching you, even after the fact. You know what I'm saying? People they got malicious intents and stuff like that, and you know, you just gotta be careful, man, because it's real out here in these streets. It's real out here. Hold on, I think this is the thumbnail I want to do. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. I'm trying to change my stuff up on the live, so when people looking at it and stuff, you know, you dig. Hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second. Trying to find this thumbnail real quick so it can be relevant to right now. But what y'all think, man? What do y'all think, man? About this whole situation, this whole ordeal, um, with this Diddy situation. What y'all thinking, and what's gonna be the output, the outcome? Okay. What y'all thinking? I would like to know if y'all drop some comments to let me know what y'all think. I should have took myself off cam, but I would like to know. I'm really interested to know what y'all think is gonna happen, what the outcome gonna be for him. Because they say like 54, if you get 10 years, you're going to be 75 years old by the time you get out. And I got a, kind of like a, how can I put this? I got a, hold on. I got a theory for y'all. I'm thinking Combs didn't really want to have no more doing with hip hop. And he was trying to find a way out. All the stuff he'd have been through, dealt with, you know, all the tragedies and stuff like that after he lost his homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the most drastic thing that could have happened to him. Was that when Biggie got killed, that pretty messed his whole organization up. Okay? When that happened. There, I got the thumbnail right there. Okay. Diddy may be free. Okay. Alright, so I got the thumbnail. I changed everything around. So when people looking at the stream and stuff, they'll see what's going on. But, man, this is something, man. Y'all got to understand what's going on in America. Okay? This is not a game. This is real deal. This is not a game. Y'all gotta pay attention out here. Keep y'all head up. Be careful who you associate yourself with, cause they trying to railroad people, and it is not a game. This is not a fucking game. Y'all gotta understand that. Wholeheartedly, y'all gotta understand that. And okay, and just be careful of who you mess with. Okay,
but it has to be
let's get back to
pretty difficult for someone like Cassie, who came forward to tell her story.
Yep, let's get back to it. There we go. Go ahead.
In such a graphic and revealing and vulnerable way, and then have a jury of her peers basically say, we don't believe you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Wow.
Why is everyone using ninja transfers?
Ninja transfers is definitely killing them.
I heard what he said.
The design came out crisp. Here.
He said her peers didn't believe her. That's something. Y'all heard that? Because she was a part of the activities. Okay? So, I really do. I see the judge probably changing his approach on this. And gonna let this man out. I don't know if he get probation and stuff like that, but we're gonna see how it goes. Somebody was saying 5 years. Now that, if anything, if they don't do probation or anything, I think that'd be cool, but damn, 5 years, that's a long, he'd be 60 years old, that's a long time too. But technically, he'd be technically really done with music. Because, I mean, his company, unless his son gonna operate it, his sons now, it's just like watching that TV show, Empire. That's what this is, in real life. Come on.
Yes, Jay, so I know that we are going to get more of this interview a bit later in the show. But I will tell you that her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, did tell me that he believes that the jury actually did believe Cassie and did believe her core allegations, just that the burden is very high for these federal crimes, and that he believes that the jury ultimately did not see a way to meet this charge because, again, that the jury did not believe that the prosecutors met their burden of proof, but that he does believe that Cassie was believed. He also said that Cassie is very proud of herself. This was traumatic for her to testify, but it was also cathartic. She can now move on. We know that she is a mother of 3, a newborn at home. She was 8 months pregnant, testifying in this trial, had her 3rd child shortly after she got off the stand. So she's really focused on family. Her attorney told me that she has a great support system, not just her family, but also she is in therapy. She has great resources now. Like he said, never heal from this. It'll take a lifetime to heal, but she's well into that process. So it sounds like she is doing okay. Her attorney actually told me, don't worry about Cassie.
Stacey, in denying bail, the judge quoted the defense at different instances in the trial when Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers acknowledged his acts of violence towards former girlfriends during the trial. And to be clear, this was not a domestic violence case. So their acknowledgement of that, especially when there was video of him beating up Cassie Ventura, was an attempt to get ahead of that judgment. What do you make of the judge's reason? Essentially, he's been violent to these women before. I see no reason why he wouldn't do it again.
Come on.
Well, I think
to them women, he's not dealing with them no more. That's crazy.
Judge can't unhear the testimony that he heard in the trial, and also the judge pointed out that the defense attorneys during the trial admitted that their client was violent and had issues and problems and flaws, and that these were terrible situations. But again, the defense was saying it was domestic violence. I think the judge could have gone the other way here, because the jury did acquit him of the racketeering and the sex trafficking counts, which would involve alleged acts of violence. And the jury found that he wasn't guilty of any of that. He was just found guilty of transporting individuals across state lines to engage in prostitution. So what is his risk to the community on that?
Yeah.
The problem is, I think Cassie Ventura's letter might have had an effect on the judge. The judge feels that he needs to protect the community from Sean Combs. But in the end, Sean Combs might not get that steep of a sentence out of his conviction.
Right.
And he'll eventually be released from jail with credit for the 10 months he's already done in, and he'll be back out in the community after the case.
Right.
I can't imagine a defendant who's just gone through a trial like Sean Combs went through, where everything that happened behind closed doors was now exposed to the nation, and it was a heinous exposure, that he wouldn't be on best behavior, not even to get a traffic infraction if he was released on bail.
Exactly. He's going to pretty much do what Dr. Dre did. Keep himself out of the public. Dr. Dre said, I'm in the crib. I got everything I need in my crib. Don't need me to go nowhere. Because when you start getting to their level, like I said, you're a detriment to yourself. Okay? Because everybody out to get you. Because now you're infamous. That's what Dave Chappelle said. You're infamous now. So, and then you got to keep your circle small. You can't hang with everybody. Okay? Now, you can't trust nobody. I mean, only person that really, he still can have his same woes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Only person that turned on him was Cassie. Out the group. She the only one that turned on him that messed it up. She messed the whole thing up. If it was something going on, but it kind of was supposed to, and I got another theory of how this all possibly could have happened. Let's go to the full camera. How this all could have possibly, and why this did happen. Okay? Because I think Cassie was a snitch. I think she was a snitch. She got caught up because she probably was still doing that shit. Combs left it alone. He advised her probably to leave it alone too. Get out. You know, stop doing it. But yeah, I'm kind of being brutally honest. Girls are kind of hard-headed. They don't listen. Okay? He was telling her to get out. He got homies, okay, at high levels too. Higher levels than her. She started getting big-headed and shit. Alright? She was getting that money. And she got caught up. Tricking off. Probably by a federal agent or something like that. Y'all know how this shit go. And she had no other choice but to snitch to rat him out. Okay, even though he probably wasn't even dealing with the shit like that no more at first hand, he was too big at that point where he got others doing it for him, handling business and shit, because now he making a lot of money now. So he got out of the situation, and she was still like a soldier in this shit. Like, she didn't make it to her pinnacle, and she got caught up trapping. They got trapped by a trapper. And she was on her tape, wired and everything type shit. Probably knew about all that stuff and everything. That beating at the hotel probably because she had a wire on or something. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful. Know what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think possibly could have been a scenario of what really did happen and how this all played out. And then they was talking about how the Ciroc, dude on TikTok was talking about the Ciroc people had investigators after Sean Combs, split ties with them, right? And they said the only way they could get him out of his deal was having a felony on him. So this was an attempt to do that. But anyway, this is crazy, man. Some real heinous stuff. Okay, let's get back to it. Lcdaone TV, baby.
So I'm a little bit surprised that the judge didn't give him some leeway. So
yeah, because it's making money for the state. All the people.
So now he'll remain at the Metropolitan Detention Center, where Luigi Mangione is also housed.
And Joey, the judge also said there was violence and illegal conduct after the searches on Sean Diddy Combs' homes. When he was aware he was under investigation, the judge saying, quote, "This highlights a disregard for the rule of law and a propensity of violence," unquote. Is that a common reason to deny bail?
So there's two ways of looking at this, Jake. The first way is that clearly there's a changed circumstance here. There's no way out of that fact. The fact is that initially when bail was imposed and when he was going through that is Mr. Combs, the iterations of the first time, then the second time he appealed, 3 different times, judge saying no, he was facing life in jail. He was facing a minimum of 15 years with respect to sex trafficking. That now has not happened. And so what we're looking at is a different universe. And so looking at it from that perspective, you can look at it from 2 reasons. Number one, is he a flight risk? Would he really be a flight risk under these circumstances where his passport's taken, he knows he's facing sentencing, you can put in conditions to ensure his return? And number 2, is he now a danger to the community wherein if he did anything wrong, it would be factored into the sentencing? Resoundingly no. That's the first argument. The second thing is, listen, the fact is he was convicted of 2 felonies. So let's look at the prosecution briefly. The fact is that based upon those 2 felonies, prostitution, transportation to engage in prostitution, you're facing up to 10 years. Now, his guideline range, which is legal speak for, the federal government calculates various things with respect to the nature of the offense, the characteristics of the defendant, etc., is from 21 months to 27 months. That's 2 years and 3 months. The judge could be given the indication, right? We don't know that, hey, he's going to keep him in jail for some period of time. What that period of time is, we don't know, but it could very well be the guideline sentence. And so maybe the judge says, if I let him out, I'm just going to put him back in anyway. I'm speculating, but there's 2 ways to slice this, Judge.
Oh, okay, so I see.
Not official.
Hold on.
We're completely unconventional. And my website really has to capture the same magic.
So just like, shit, he already in there, so let him finish, we'll be able to let him finish serving it once I give him the other time. And that's it. He already got time served, you just add on to it.
Monumental loss for prosecutors.
Okay? So, let's just TMZ real quick. We'll close down. But they ain't talking about nothing else, really. But, like I said, all this is that said, the judge looking out on his behalf because he already was, and he got good behavior already, good time. But damn, I know he want to come up out of that motherfucker. He did a whole year, but you know what this do? Now that you know you'll be exonerated, especially after you know your face, after the judge laid down, I'm pretty sure his attorneys are advising him that he's not going to do that much time no more. He just got to finish out probably a year or so or whatever. He can get his mindset right on what he going to, the next part, the next phase of his business going to be in his life. Write music and shit. Now he ain't got to stress and shit. You know what I'm saying? And come out, you know what I'm saying? And man, you know what I'm saying? Be very, very impactful. And it's like, then everybody will buy back into his career. Shit, he served his time. Same thing with James Brown. He served his time, did his time. It is what it is. Okay? There's nothing else. And he keeping himself out of trouble. Same thing with who? Look at that. Young Thug, right? Young Thug, right? How long Young Thug been going back and forth to court? You know, he was there for like 2 years, right? 2 or 3 years, something like that. Same type of shit. Different scenario. Okay? So, yeah. This makes sense. And he come out big in the light. Him and Kanye hook up. More people hook up with him. R. Kelly get up out of that motherfucker. That'd be damn astronomical. Okay? For real, for real. Okay, that's what Harvey got to say. We out.
Was in the Diddy case. They were, I wish there were a bigger word than the word losers. Because that's what they are. This case would never have been brought if the only issues were whether he transported a sex worker across state lines to have sex. There is no way they would have done it. I mean, you look at this case, and they had 70 Homeland Security agents at Diddy's homes in Miami and LA. And they spent a fortune putting this case together. And what did they get? A not guilty verdict on racketeering. A not guilty verdict on sex trafficking as it relates to Cassie. A not guilty verdict on sex trafficking as it relates to Jane. Those were the reason why this case was brought.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter your address and get a 360-degree satellite view of your home.
They said he was a racketeer. The jury said no. They said that he was...
See, they defamated him, slandered him. He could go after the government like they were saying. And if they would have had no records of the sex workers, like I said, I would have drove their ass in. Got smart enough. And he would have been exonerated completely of all charges. And Cassie would have made to been looked out like a buffoon, and exactly what she was, a money grabber. Okay? And that was it. So they didn't believe her testimony because she was fumbling up there and she lied on the oath and stuff like that. And, you know, like that could be perjury, right? That's what they call it. But man, this is crazy. Listen to him.
Raping Cassie and coercing Cassie and Jay and forcing them into these freak-offs. The jury didn't buy it. Now again, I wasn't in the courtroom, nor were you. I mean, you've got to see the witnesses, see the evidence. And the jury not only was not buying it, but now that we look at it, remember, an hour into this case, an hour into deliberation, the jury came back to the judge and said, one of the jurors, juror 25, was not following jury instruction. What really stunned me about that is that it's almost like he was the holdout and everybody else felt one way, he felt another way. And they did that within an hour. And he obviously came around, it seems. And this didn't seem a difficult decision for the jury. It seems like they were pretty much in agreement on the first straw vote. So did the prosecution prove its case? No. Yes, he was found guilty on the Mann Act, 2 counts. But again, This is an antiquated law. Let me just explain the Mann Act. That if Diddy had taken somebody from the San Fernando Valley, a sex worker, and then brought them over the hill to a hotel in Beverly Hills and paid them, well, that would be solicitation of prostitution. Guess what?
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be a felony case. The DA wouldn't.
Yeah, I seen a YouTube incident where some sheriffs had caught this one brother. He admitted to everything, like he was in Las Vegas visiting his people and picked up a couple bras because prostitution is legal in that state. And they tried to get him for sex trafficking, saying he was transporting them. And he had his mama call and talk to the people and everything, and it was on YouTube, man. It was something else, man. And long story short, they didn't charge the girls for anything, and I think he got let out on a misdemeanor or something like that. But this is unbelievable, man. They need to make prostitution legal anyway. If it's legal in one of the states in America, why not all? It's a profession, okay? It's a way it'll stimulate the economy. Let people do what the fuck they want to make America great again. Trump should do that. If you want to make America great, do that. They already got OnlyFans. Porno is legal. Man, let motherfuckers fuck, man. For money or whatever. It ain't hurt nobody. You helping them. Well, somebody I really admire because he's from Chicago. He said that when he sat down with William Brickley. I watched the interview. He was like, sex is in everything. And that's what stimulated him to start his magazine. And, he said to stimulate the male ego. Okay? Females like to fuck all the time. Okay? Why not let them get paid for the shit? Okay? Period. That's all they want to do anyway. They get hot fast. All the time. That's what they want to do. Why not let them get paid doing this shit? That's what I'm saying. I'm just keeping a buck with y'all. They need to stop sanctioning. That's what the problem with America. They sanction shit too fucking much. They make everything hard. They be too strict. To lighten up, man. It's a new era. This ain't like the fucking 50s and 60s and shit. We're not no damn Mormons and none of that shit, but come on. Let people do what the fuck they want to do. We wouldn't even have this problem right now. The only thing they're trying to get more is transporting a damn sex worker. He probably didn't even do it himself. He had somebody else bring them motherfuckers over there. They're saying it was his corporation, so they got to charge him with it. He probably physically didn't go. You think Diddy gonna go physically go get some people? Come on, man. The judge got to take that into consideration. You think he really just went and picked up somebody? He wouldn't even pick up Cassie. This motherfucker's a billionaire. You think he'll go outside like that in public? No. So that's why they're trying to say, but they rested all that already. The racketeering, all that stuff, the RICO stuff, is rested to bed. Either you get this man probation, let him the fuck up out of there. That's basically what the sentence should be, probation. Okay? So and then make the clauses where he can't go nowhere until that shit is over with. He on parole, basically, for a year or whatever. Community service, whatever fuck you gotta do. Not over some motherfuckers getting some pussy. Come on, man. Like, come on. This shit don't make no damn sense, Joe. Come on. Don't make no damn sense. Can't even have strippers come to your party without some bullshit.
In a case like that, it'd be a misdemeanor that the city attorney might file. Generally, they don't. But if they do, it's 6 months, maximum a year in county jail, which they never give. And yet, we are now looking at a prosecution that got 2 convictions of putting a sex worker on an airplane and flying to where Diddy was. That's what this case ended up to be. A monumental loss for prosecutors.
Wow.
And I got to say that I'm going to go back to the news conference the U.S. attorney had, where
if you or a loved one were sexually abused at these Illinois youth facilities or treatment centers, you may qualify for significant.
A lot of people owe him an apology, man, Diddy. Especially that dude who is good, educated. Y'all owe him an apology, man.
And when I heard
I want that
them
brother to go to
talking
jail.
about Baby Oil, I'm just thinking, what does this have to do with a federal prosecution? Yes, it's salacious, but what does it have to do with 70 Homeland Security? Now, look, I'm not saying Cassie wasn't abused. We know she was abused. We saw the Intercontinental Hotel video, but he wasn't being prosecuted for that. And to say, and I have talked about this from the beginning, to say this dude was a racketeer, he's a bad guy. And I think a criminal. He's committed a lot of crimes along the way. But a racketeer, and again, I will say this one more time, a racketeer is somebody in organized crime. This was disorganized crime. This was a jealous, crazy, even criminal boyfriend who is so crazed that burglarize Kid Cudi's house or maybe blow up the car and kidnap somebody and give them a lie detector test. But there's no enterprise.
Right, because they was what they call this? They was what they call that, jealous love and stuff. Beyonce described. It was real, man, with them. You know, they had that I got Tina Turner type shit going on. You know, that's what they was dealing with. That's what he was dealing with. You know, they was like they was the same type of animals. They couldn't coexist with each other. That's all they couldn't coexist with each other, right? So, yeah, it is what it is, man. This is something. We're gonna get up off of here shortly as we finish watching Harvey, and yeah, that's it, man. But yeah, what y'all thinking, man? Y'all like the show so far?
It's not Bad Boy Records. That's not what Bad Boy Records was doing. It was a crazed boyfriend who was doing this. That's not organized crime. And clearly, the jury saw that. And they came back unanimously on it. So, what do we end up with? We end up with a case that, if it was all within one state, would have been maximum a misdemeanor in the city attorney's office. Just think about that. So now the question, what was really behind it? Maybe the prosecutors really believed in their case. But I question that news conference where, you know, they decided it's not just that we're going to file a case against him. We're going to have a whole big news conference laying out all the evidence, talking about the salacious things like baby oil and Astroglide and whatnot. And then you got to wonder, was their motivation to seek justice, or was this at least in part a publicity grab? And I say that because I don't get A, why they held a news conference, and B, why they're bringing in things like baby oil. I want to say one other, that, you know, the jury saw the freak-off videos, and a lot of people thought, oh, that's going to hurt Diddy. I think it's the opposite, because that video doesn't get in the head of Cassie or Jay. They just see them having sex. And, you know, between looking at the video, looking at those text messages saying, when are we going to have the next freak-off? I love these freak-offs. It's possible for sure that there were times when they didn't. But the jury wasn't buying that he coerced them. They just weren't buying it. Because it's complicated when they're in long relationships with Diddy. So I'm not saying they weren't abused, but prosecution to fight.
And look, they in that lifestyle where he able to have two of them at the same time. They know what the, and both of them know about each other. 50 Cent, girl, baby mama, and Cash. They probably all had threesomes together and all type of shit. Come on. Look what R. Kelly, he got two girlfriends. Y'all gotta understand his lifestyle.
File a case like this, spend this kind of money to invest the resources they did. They got to know going in that there's a chance they can prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It seems this jury had no problem finding him not guilty on the main counts. Now, as for what's going to happen to him, whether he's going to get significant prison time, I don't know. I just don't think so. Because ultimately, do you put a guy in prison because He hired a sex worker and flew him in an airplane. You put him in prison for 10 years? I don't think so. You put him in prison for 5 years? I don't think so. Now, you could say, well, we're going to put him in prison because he's just a bad guy. But that's not what the law says. The law doesn't say you can look at a guy and say, he's just a bad guy, so we're going to throw the book at him. That's wrong. That's wrong. They did that with O.J. Simpson in that kidnapping case in Las Vegas. And even though I covered the O.J. Simpson murder cases, the civil and criminal, and knew he was guilty, the kidnapping case was BS. And yet, the judge threw the book at him as a pound of flesh because he was found not guilty in the murder case. That wasn't fair. That wasn't right. And you can't look at the guy and say, I just dislike him so much that I'm going to do what I might not do if he were a different guy. You've got to apply the law fairly. And I just don't see him getting significant prison time. I may be wrong, but this Mann Act is an antiquated law. It was used for racial purposes initially. And it's no different from, going after a John on a...
See, that's what he was talking about, the systemic, and I showed y'all the video earlier with him and Charlamagne. The systemic, and he said they've been fighting this shit for a long time at their level.
Hollywood Boulevard, which is a misdemeanor. It's a transporting sex work. So I just don't see significant time. Bottom line here, the prosecution may have convicted him on the Mann Act, but they lost this case in a spectacular way.
Wow. Okay. Y'all heard that? Huh? Everybody heard that. So
big news today. Let's get right to Lisa.
Yeah. So Sean Combs, P. Diddy, may be freed soon. Okay, we will find that out shortly. I will be back giving y'all the 411 on the LC1 TV podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe, turn on the post notification bell button if you do. We're a little bit more organized than we were before, even though we're still lagging and stuff. Hopefully when I get the full internet service on here, man, we'll be back and forth. We'll be up and running at full throttle. But yeah, man, this is something, man. This is unbelievable turn of events, as y'all see. Everything that was laid out, counts that was charged against P. Diddy. Only two of them stuck, and it was all about some transports. They call these brothers prostitutes. They escorts. Man, this is unbelievable. That he's gonna get charged for something like that, But they say it's a law and broke that law and et cetera, et cetera. But there's some leniency there too. But like what Harvey was saying, you can't just throw this man in jail for 20 years for just transporting somebody and he didn't do nothing else. Did he physically? That's what I'm saying. Did he physically transport them himself? But they say he flew them in. He didn't fly no damn plane. So, damn, he getting charged for that. That's crazy, man. But we gotta do something with this systemic stuff, man. It's a real problem. Okay, these people, that's the only way they feel like they still can control us, black people. Okay, we gotta be controlled. That's what really boils down to it. They gotta control us. Okay, and keep us down at a low vibration. And we do so much in this country. Okay? And we are, it's unjust for us anyway because of what happened with slavery. And this is just a continuation of it. This systemic stuff. Okay? We can't do nothing. What about all these other people? They doing shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but we get scrutinized and put up under a microscope. Okay? Spotlight be on us when we do something. But they say we flamboyant and stuff, but we do a lot for the country, man. Like, They got a lot of shit. Like, they got people marrying damn different people in Utah. They got Mormons and all type of shit up out there. And it's like, we can't do nothing, man. But we need, that's what I'm saying. We need to get ourselves, we need to collect the vines, get ourselves together, and take it back to the crib. Because in Africa, they laws that, and Akon was saying that on Drake Time, they will embrace us. If we come back and invest our money in our native place where we supposed to be. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody else do it. Okay? They'll open their arms up. I'm looking at my friend Chanel. She out there right now. She be in Ghana. Go look at her channel, Chanel Island. She out there. I'm about to look at her new episode right now. And she got a real good YouTube. Her YouTube is off the chain. Ain't nobody subscribing to her. Look at my podcast. Ain't nobody fucking with me. But we from Chicago. It's like, that's what I'm saying. P. Diddy wrapped his arms around us, man. We intertwined forever. New York, Chicago, and LA. Them niggas, they show love to us, man. Out of everybody. It was them three. Them two. Atlanta, they okay. They cool too. Miami, they, but not like New York and LA. They show love to Chicago like that. That's why you think Kanye West, a Chicago nigga, went up there. Because he deep in New York. And he said that P. Diddy is his mentor. That's our mentor. He the big homie. And he was advising him on the phone. Y'all didn't see the phone chat? You know, they were talking. He was like, yeah, I'll be on the stuff, man. You keep making that good music. I'm following suit. Because whenever the big three, the real Triple Darkness come out, shout out to Triple Darkness, my cousin them and stuff. Racketeering, happy belated birthday to Rack. Okay? Shout out to Softball. My homie Softball just got out. He was on phone call and stuff like that. But we the real Triple Darkness. Me, Kanye, and 50. I follow them. We the same age of my brothers and stuff, man. Like, and I was right there when Kanye got pulled out the crowd by Jermaine Dupri at the WGCI seminar, 1998, Michigan Avenue Grand Ballroom. Kanye, you see this shit. You know, I was there. I was in the room. Mike Love and the Diz was the host. You know what happened there. I know what happened there. I told the story many a number of times. You know what happened there, and I know what happened there, but you got pulled out that crowd. And it was really Atlanta, they was there. Really, New York took him in and saved and put Kanye out. Atlanta could have had the opportunity. Jermaine Dupri was right there. Irv Gotti was in there. Rest in peace to Irv Gotti. New York pulled us out the crowd and gave us the shot. Now we a billionaire. Kanye a billionaire. He enlightening Diddy right now. Told him take his money. Fuck them people, man. Get your money up out of there. Come on, fuck with us, man. He hang with the richest motherfucker on the planet. They best buddies. The president, he got him on the. Come on, y'all. Diddy was like, I want to own my shit. I'm tired of being up under them. I want to own my shit. I'm tired of this shit, man. Getting royalties and but fuck that. I know how much money to say you're gonna take his money and break the breach with them, break the contract. It was over with. You know what I'm saying? Kanye owned all his own shit. That nigga's a billionaire and climbing, and they can't stop him. He was just advising the big homies, like let them know. But that's his mentor. Come on, dog. Let's go. Fuck them. I got you. You can do this. Once Diddy went and told him, like, I'm out. Like, nigga, what? You out, nigga, what? I'm gonna let you out when I say it's over with. Right? Type shit, right? And that's what happened. Started investigating them. Cassius got caught up. They got canceled, you know that? You know, because she ain't got no money. You know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Basically in a nutshell. But this all a learning experience, and I know he's smarter than this shit. Now, that's why he tell everybody be cool. You know, chill out. You stop the music and shit. Ain't nothing shaking without him. You see that everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody. Ain't nobody make shit. Nobody. I've been bumping that Rick Ross tape that he made with him, the mixtape. Come on, dog. Big Diddy, the big homie, man. For real. I hope they recognize me in the game. I know they already know. You know what I'm saying? They know what I'm dealing with, this motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? The systemic shit I'm dealing with. Come on. They know what I'm dealing with. But I'm staying humble, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity because I'm getting in there. You know what I'm saying? I put my money in the right place. You know what I'm saying? That's there right there. Hold on. I might be able to get a chance to see on the camera. I would have brought Princess Lil over here, but she don't got the right outfit on right now. Hold on, I gotta let this in. Hold on, y'all. Before we close it out. Alright, she ain't here, y'all, but I'll get where I'm coming from, man. I'll get where I'm coming from. But I thank all those that watch and those that will watch after this broadcast concludes. I built my podcast. It took a long time to get to this point. And I normally do the video parts because if I want to see how it really looks in video format, go ahead and look at the video parts. This is the live stream right here, and I'm just staying on point with the time. Okay? And letting everybody see how it, the show will look live. I'm gonna take chats and stuff as we build, but I need people to help me, man. So if y'all can donate to the stream, it would be greatly appreciated, man. My cash app is LC1. Donate. It'll help me out, man. I can get all the extra stuff I need. Trying to get a crib so I can really set up. You know what I'm saying? And keep on going with this stuff, man. It's entertainment. Giving y'all the phone when y'all really need this. Y'all really need it. Okay, I give y'all the information and the. Okay. But we about to get up out of here, man. I gotta conclude, man. So I can sit down, man. Hey, this your boy LC1, baby. LC1 to be exact. You did. AKA Illmatic 1 2 4. They're not the motherfucking gang numbers, man. But my actual jersey number I wore when I was in high school, and my warmer jersey right here on the back of my motherfucking chair. Like I always say, man, keep it pimping and avoid slipping. Because they will get your motherfucking ass. As you see, try to get Diddy. If you slip on that motherfucking banana, but you think I'm talking about, like I always say, turn back, God, before we shout out to my LC Nation, my LC gang, and my LC crew. I need y'all to like this video. Share this video everywhere, the stream, everywhere. Comment on this stream. And most importantly of all, man, subscribe to my YouTube channel, LC1 TV. Y'all get more exclusives, live streams, videos, short clips, all that stuff, man. And like I always say, touch it up, y'all. We gone. In a 5, a 4, y'all know how to do this. If y'all watch my channels, a 3, a 2, a 1. Church, now I'll see y'all on the next LC1 Live, baby. We gone.